I've previously said that many writing teachers and writing guides overcomplicate some aspects of writing, and point of view is one of these areas. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible and show you how to best determine the point of view that is right for your story. So what is point of view? Well, point of view is the perspective from which we view the action of the story and the thoughts and the feelings of the characters. By we, I mean the reader. So firstly, make sure that instead of asking yourself which point of view would I like to tell the story from, ask yourself which point of view will my readers most want the story told from. So I'm now going to take you through some of the most common points of view and examine the pros and the cons of each one. First person point of view is a point of view in which we follow a particular character from their perspective. This requires the pronouns I and we to be used. Now, a writer does not have to stick to the one character as the narrator. Different chapters can represent different first-person points of view. The advantages of using first-person perspective are that readers gain a more intimate portrayal of a main character. Readers can more readily feel empathy for a character, and readers can better understand the motivations of a character. Now, the disadvantages of using first-person perspective are the reader only knows what that character knows and only sees what that character sees, only hears what that character hears. It can be hard to get across important plot information that the main character is not aware of. And if the character is not extremely interested and engaging, the reader can lose interest and switch off. With third-person point of view, the story is told about a character or set of characters rather than by a character. A writer can still tell the story with a particular character in mind, revealing some of the thoughts and feelings and emotions of the character using pronouns like he, she, or they. This is known as limited third person. A writer can also reveal how more than one character feels, acts, and thinks, and this is known as omniscient third person. The advantages of using third-person perspective are it is the narrative voice readers are most familiar with, because most stories are third-person. Readers know what more than one character is thinking and feeling, and it gives a writer more freedom when it comes to plot development. Now, the disadvantages of using third-person perspective are that readers may not be able to emotionally connect to a character as well. And if there are many characters, readers can become confused as to who is doing what, and writers need to ensure that characters' individual timelines do not contradict the plot. Second-person point of view uses the pronoun you, and it allows the readers to imagine that they are experiencing what a character is experiencing. Now, it's hard to sustain this for a whole novel, but it can be effective for a paragraph when the writer believes the reader may relate to that situation, or even as the narrative voice for a short story. The point of view you choose should be the one that will best serve your purpose. Now, that means you need to have a purpose to start with. You need to know what sort of story you want to write and how you want the reader to feel. For example, let's say you want to write a story about a boy missing in the bush. You have several major characters, including the boy, the mother, the father, head of the search party, various individuals searching for the boy, someone from the media, etc., etc., etc. So here are different themes that could be explored in a story depending on the narrative perspective that you choose. So the lost boy's perspective, perhaps, it's going to be a story about loneliness and fear, anxiety, and bewilderment. If you decide to do it from the mother's perspective, it could be one of guilt, of catastrophizing, of maternal hunger. If from the father's perspective, perhaps helplessness, loss of control and protective instinct. Maybe from the perspective of the head of the search party, it could be a story about responsibility and leadership and a race against time. The list goes on and on and on. So when you are considering the point of view of your story, ask yourself, what you want your story to be about and which character's point of view is going to give you the best chance of achieving that. Write the first paragraph of the fairy tale Little Red Riding Hood from 3 different perspectives. First, Little Red Riding Hood. Second, the woodcutter. Third, Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother. It can be first or third person point of view. The best way to determine which point of view and which narrative perspective to use is to try various options and just see which one feels the best.